Good morning, noon, evening, hitchhikers. You're listening to ahk42.com, a Hitchhiker's Guide to 42 talk show. I'm your host, Leah Harrison, and welcome to the show. Check out all our previous shows at ahk42.com. Small name, lots of information, lots of guests. Today I'll be speaking with NevilleThompson. NevilleThompson began reading everything he could: Egyptian, Roman, Greek, Indian, Sumerian, learning about the history and trying to understand what had actually took place in the ancient past. So much has been lost or hidden from us, either intentionally or unintentionally. In 2011, he created the group Alien Life, focusing on images from Apollo missions and the Mars rovers and landers, uncovering artefacts and structures that couldn't possibly be of natural origin. In 2012, he was contacted by Jose Escamilla to enhance images from the Clementine mission for the film Celestial. He admins other space and Mars anomaly groups on Facebook. In these groups alone, the membership is over 113,000 people, and the number is growing fast. He also supplies these groups with GigaPans from the Mars rover Curiosity. In total, he has created over 800 GigaPans, which aids the research tremendously. Throughout Earth's history, there have been stories of great civilizations, gods descending from space in fiery chariots, buildings that could have never been built by human hands alone, astrological knowledge that we have only found out about in the last 100 years, paintings, carvings and writings that depict and tell of visitors from other planets. We have sent satellites, rovers and men out into space, all bringing and sending back information. Records and artefacts have been destroyed, hidden or locked away. Images from satellites and rovers have been changed, blurred or blacked out. Hidden texts in Vatican vaults that would crush religious beliefs in their foundations. What are they trying to hide? They are hiding the truth, Neville says. We are not the only species in this universe. The truth is hidden by military and governments for only the chosen few to see. The group is about finding the truth, finding the pieces that either have been lost or withheld from us. They could be anywhere: Earth, Moon, Mars or somewhere else. Neville's task and his group's task is to fit them all together so it shows us the real truth. County Durham, United Kingdom, graphic designer, artist, astroarchaeologist. He became interested in the subject after reading Erich von Daniken's Chariots of the Gods at the age of 17. From that day, he was hooked. You can get all of the links on NevilleThompson's guests page, so check it out at ahk42.com / all one word, NevilleThompson. And what have I been up to? Let's speak about this then. I have had laptop problems since the day I started with the podcast, and finally my laptop died. So I had to wait and get a new to me second-hand PC, and this is what I'm using now. So big apologies that I've taken so long to upload. I just couldn't do it. So here I am, I'm back. And all things are going well so far. So I thought, right, let's not waste any more time. NevilleThompson's been waiting for such a long time for me to upload his show. It's a bit out of date, I guess, now. There's been so many more findings. I suggest you go to his page and you'll find them yourself. All the links are on the website, ahk42.com. Also, we've got a new additional authors on the site coming up. So check the site for the news and media area for new articles by new members of the AHK42 team. And what else can I say? A lot's been happening. I don't know about you guys, but a lot's been changing and happening in my life at the minute. I don't know whether for the better, but we must all keep plodding on, right? Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to leave you with some music, and then NevilleThompson will be coming up next. Speak to you soon. next up is our guest, NevilleThompson. Welcome, hitchhikers, and we are back again with another show for you, and I have got with me NevilleThompson. Hi, Neville.
Hello there.
Thanks for coming on, and I really would like to let the listeners know who you are and what it is that you do.
Right, okay. I have a group on Facebook called Alien Life. What it deals with anomalies from Mars mainly, but also do like the moon and other planets, but I basically concentrate on Mars. What it is, there's not just me who does it, there's loads of other groups. We've actually, there's about 13 groups that have joined up, and we are called UFAR. It's United Family of Anomaly Hunters. We search for past life on Mars or life on Mars.
Using the NASA given images, is that right?
Yeah. We look at the images that come down from the rovers that are on Mars, and sometimes we see structures and things like that. We see broken statues and buildings and things like that, but these are really ancient, these are really old, so they're not like normal buildings standing. These are like ruins, foundations and things like that,
Yeah, so it's the sort of things we were looking at. I've seen, because I'm an avid follower of your work. I mean, since I've been following you, that's when it all started for me, really. I saw a picture of something that looked like a statue on Mars, and I followed it, and it was you that was the poster and the one who found it. And since that day, I've just been obsessed with it. I was obsessed with it big time, 24/7 for a long while. But I don't really have the time, and this is something I am fascinated with, is how you have the time to do such detailed work. I mean, on your Facebook's groups, say the Mars images, someone could be posting an anomaly that they found in a NASA image, and they will be talking about it, and someone will say, well, what set of images is that? And you just go on there and you've got the link, exactly where it is that this person's be looking. How do you do that? Have you got like a photographic memory, or?
Well, what happened was, when I first started, right, you used to have to look at the single images on the NASA site. Now, what to do with these is you can join them together to create a bigger picture, which gives you like a view of the surroundings where the rover is, okay?
Yeah.
So what I started to do was I started to join these together and make a thing called a GigaPan, okay?
Right.
Now
Is that what we find on the sites then? We see a GigaPan, it's gigapan.com, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's basically where you can knit lots of images together, like you say, to make a larger image.
Yeah. You can you stitch these together with a program, and instead of searching each individual image, you can actually join them up, and you can see the whole stretch of where it's the area that it's taken. Because years ago I used to search the single ones, and I used to think, right, what image joins onto where does that join onto there? And I thought, right, if I start joining these together, it'll give us a better idea where the rover is, where it's moving to, and things like that,
Right.
But then I started to make them for other people who were just starting, which helps them a lot. Otherwise, I'll have to go onto the NASA site and look at each individual image, and they won't have a clue where a certain thing is, or where the rover is and that. So I started to make them for everyone else. I think I made about 2,000 now, which is quite a lot,
Absolutely. I mean, basically, on the NASA website, there is thousands upon thousands of images from the rover that they supply, shall I say.
Yeah.
And it's all for free, that you can go to the NASA websites and find all these images. Now, but obviously you've got, like you're saying, you've got so many images, you can't just go in one by one. Joining them all together makes it a better, bigger landscape. But you've also now got some HD images coming in from the rover. Or I have been noticing that you've been doing a lot more GigaPan's redo of some images that were previously given out by NASA, which are now HD images. Could you explain a bit more about that?
Yeah, well, what happens is when the images are first released, they release to the public JPEG images, which are a lower quality image, and put them on the NASA website. Now after 6 months has gone by, they've got a chance. NASA releases what they call PDS ones. You know, these are 30% sharper. They're not like perfect, you know. They've still got errors in them and stuff like that, but they're 30% sharper. And after 6 months, they release a set of them from like day 400 to day 800. Every 6 months, they release a batch, which then I go back into the new ones, and I make new pans, because they are a bit sharper, and you can compare the JPEG ones, the old pans, to the new ones. You know?
Yeah. So, are you finding then, from previous finds of what were thought firstly to be an anomaly, are you finding that with the HD images you're able to rule out a lot of rubbish, shall I say, which can be seen as a pixelated image? They are then perceived to be a figure or something like that, and then you've got the HD images that you're GigaPanning together, and you're actually zooming in and you're finding out that it isn't in fact a person. It just happens to be a rock shaped in that fashion, sort of thing, with the HD images.
Sometimes that happens, but sometimes it shows the anomaly clearer, you know. You can't really say that it lets you see things that are really there, because I think NASA tends to hide things, you know, that are there, which I've found. But I think it's good, because if you get two sets of images, one from one angle and one from the other, that's the way sometimes I can tell whether something was what I thought it was. And if you go to a slightly different angle, you see it
with different light.
And it, you know, you can see whether it was what you thought it was, you know. Plus the thing is as well, with some of them, you've got to take into consideration where the sun is, because sometimes when the sun's at one place, things look different to when the sun's somewhere else. You know?
Right. I'm with you. So, out of all of these years, Neville, studying NASA images, what are your most convincing anomalies of life on the other planets? Especially as we're talking about Mars, we may as well stick with Mars for now.
Yeah. Well, the first one was it's probably the one that you saw. It was a figure inside of a square building.
Yes.
I think that's the image that you're on about.
You're clever.
That came from Opportunity. It was in a crater. I can't remember the name, but I know where it is straight away. that's the one you saw. That one got a lot of attention, you know.
Yeah.
And then after that, I found really. I did tend to go in close and look for small things, but now I've stepped back a bit and I look for structures and things like that, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Because in the past you have actually seen what seems to me now, because when you see something, you go and put it into your editor and you darken the surroundings and then highlights the areas that you're looking at so that we can actually, because it's hard for someone just to write it, you need to see it visually. So, so you highlight the areas. There's been some, what seem to be drawings or letters or things like that on the walls, you know, like you would.
Yeah, they've got they do have letters and numbers and things like that similar to us, you know, but mostly the shapes, you know, the shapes and funny characters and things like that.
Yeah.
But no, some of the letters that they use are similar to us, but I would say most of them are totally just like geometric shapes and things like that.
So,
you know?
what would you say then, in your mind, being you know what you've been doing this for such a long while, and I would say you're a professional Mars anomaly investigator. You really do an amazing job for everybody, and I thank you for that. I was wondering what your thoughts were on what happened on Mars, for starters, and then secondly, I would ask you, would the things that you see on Mars, would you imagine it more to be like a dynasty of Egypt or Sumerian style more?
Yeah.
Can we imagine them to be similar to one or the other?
I would say they're similar to like the Aztecs and Egyptians and things like that, you know, because everything you see is covered in carvings and faces and stuff like that, you know. They're really good at drawing and carving things, stuff like that. I mean, I've found on the side of one of it's called Victoria crater. Along the sides of the crater, there's drawings of faces and things like that.
Wow.
But you get faces in faces. But what I had a thought about this, and I thought, okay, that space there is a flat bit of rock on the side of the crater. So they've used that as like a photo gallery. Now, over the years, they've tried to use up all the space, so they've drawn inside of faces and things like that to try and use up what space
they have available.
They can, you know. But it's like a public. I would say they would use it as like a public gallery to show people of the past and things like that. You know?
So it's like they're creating their history and writing on the. So what do you think then, Neville, in your opinion, happened on Mars when a civilization was on there? What happened after that?
Well, if you look on Mars, there's a big scar on Mars, right? Now, it looks as if it's been created from some kind of electrical discharge, you know? Now, in the past, there was talk of another planet that was in our solar system. Now, that used to orbit in between, I think it's Earth and Mars, you know?
Right, okay.
Now, every time this planet passed Mars, the North and South poles used to. This is my theory.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
It's not true, okay?
Yeah.
Every time this planet passed Mars, it actually was so close to Mars that every time it passed, every so many thousand years, it actually took a bit of the atmosphere from Mars, because you know what happens when you put magnets together, they pull and push on each other.
Yeah, the opposites.
So a planet is like a magnet because you've got your north and your south pole.
Okay.
So every time this planet went past Mars, it actually took a bit of the atmosphere and stuff like that from Mars. Now, this happened for thousands of years.
Right.
Now, when this planet came by, and every time it came by, it got closer and closer. Now, the last time it came by, it actually blew up, right?
Wow.
Now,
Okay.
Now, on the images on Mars, you see bright blue rocks on the ground. Everywhere on Mars, you see like volcanic rock on Mars, you know?
Oh, okay.
Now, these rocks have come from this planet that blew up in space. Now, if the planet blew up in space, the rocks from it would have circled around Mars, a bit like the rings around Saturn and things like that.
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So over time, these planets have fell back to the surface of Mars. Now, what happens when a rock falls through a planet's atmosphere? It burns up. It becomes volcanic rock,
Right.
which we see all around Mars. You know.
Oh, okay. We're going to take a little break, and I would just like you to know that I have a Facebook page called A Hitchhiker's Guide to 42, and that's the @ symbol at Talk AHK 42. Hit that into your Facebook search bar and you'll find the page, and there's lots of news updates on there, more than the website actually. It's quite convenient to share to Facebook than it is to write the article and post it with all the images and edit it and all these things, because I do all this editing on my own, and so it's quite hard work for me. But I've got a new show called Two Yanks on a Brit. It's very explicit, but it's three friends basically like The View, having fun and talking about certain topics that we find interesting. So keep your eyes posted onto my website at ahk42.com, or follow me on Facebook or Twitter, Talk AHK42. Also, I'm going to be adding some more authors to my website, ahk42.com. So you'll be able to find these authors' articles on the news and media page on my website.
Now the people on Mars would have had to hide from this. So there's tales of the people of Mars hiding underground, like living underground. You know.
Yeah, because we have some of that over on our planet, don't we? Underground tunnels and things like that from centuries ago.
There's I think it's about 30 or 40 cities buried underground from ancient times.
Yeah.
On Earth. So I'm just wondering whether this has happened on Earth. You know, and Mars. It may have happened during the time when Mars was going through this change.
Yeah.
It also affected Earth, and we had to hide underground as well.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah. I mean, it seems to be, to me, obviously it's like an atmospheric thing.
Yeah.
So because of the way from somebody who hasn't studied like you have on the Mars images, what it does tend to look like is a real dusty, horrible Mad Max scene from the movie Mad Max. And obviously, you know, they've either had a catastrophe or they did it, or like you say, it was a planetary catastrophe more than like a war.
Well, see, I don't really go for the war, the war type of thing, you know. It could have been that they had some kind of, you know, like we've got the pyramids around Earth. Now the pyramids around on Earth, if you map out where the pyramids are, they all form a kind of network around Earth, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe Mars had that, you know, and something went wrong with that system, because I think the pyramids were for producing energy, you know.
There's more and more people investigating that, and I've absolutely I've been engrossed in that for ages. But for people that don't know, they're tending to find out now. Well, the theory is that the pyramids were an actual power station of some description. They were surrounded by water, so they're trying to say that maybe there's a sound and water creates a wave of, and then that's created into energy. Now, as you're saying, on Mars, there's exact copy, because everybody knows about Cydonia, the face on Mars, and then the pyramids, what seem to be pyramids next to this face on Mars. They basically bang on line up with the same distance from each other and everything, the same as what we have in Egypt. So with that in mind then, and you're saying that, we found around Earth that we've got other pyramids, like you say, all seem to link together around the planet. Are there more pyramids then that we're not aware of? Are you aware of on Mars?
Well, there could be. We really don't know, because we've only I think there's only something like 4% of Mars we've actually taken photographs of.
Blimey.
At the minute, so we can't really say at the moment. Maybe when we actually get a full coverage of Mars, we will be able to tell, you know. Or could NASA hide them if there is any left? I don't know, you know.
Speaking of that, what's your opinion on NASA doctoring images so that we can't actually see what's really there?
Oh, yes. I mean, the thing is, at the moment, we're hardly getting any images back from the rovers at the moment, because we're getting closer to where there was once a big city. Now, it's been about, it's coming up nearly 3 weeks now since we've had really any shots of the mountain stuff, Gale crater, or anything like that.
Suspicious then, that is, isn't it? It's very suspicious.
Yes, I think they do hide stuff. They hide a lot of stuff. But the stuff that they're leaving, it's nothing compared to what they're hiding, you know. If we really saw what was there, then it would be, you know, it would be all over the news and everything, you know.
Why do you think that then? Well, actually, we're going to take a little break, and after I'll be asking you about why do you think that these images that everyone is finding, including yourself, which seems to be damning evidence that it is a structure, it is a building or a statue of some description, why do you think it's not on the front page of the news? Okay, Neville, how are you feeling?
Fine,
okay, good, cool. You're doing ever so well, thank you.
Oh, good.
I'm just going to get some water, so I won't be a second, all right?
Okay, fine.
Okay, 2 secs.
That's a can, not water.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, that's a can, not water.
Yeah, this is a can of cider. Damn it, you got me again.
No, I've got very good hearing.
Yes, you do. I've got my headphones on, so I couldn't hear what you were saying then, but I thought, yes, it's found out. Right. Okay, you ready to go again?
Yeah, fine, yeah.
Thank you. Welcome back, hitchhikers. Now, I've got NevilleThompson here, well, they know that, don't they? I've got NevilleThompson here again, so welcome back. So I wanted to ask you, Neville, why do you think that the images that seem to be, in my eyes and other people's eyes, to be damning evidence of a building, a structure, or a person, say, or a statue. Why do you think it's not actually on the front page of the news?
Well, they do people. They do post things, but they post the most stupidest things you can think of because they don't want people to know, but they want them. They want to show people that we are looking at things, but it can be taken two ways. We could be seen as fools,
Right.
because some of the stuff they show, it could be anything, but the reason why I think they're not showing us what is there is it would change everything. It would change everything about history, about stories of aliens from other planets coming to Earth thousands of years ago and things like that.
So do you think it's like they're trying to hide the evidence because of their thoughts of like we'd all go crazy and start raiding shops and religion would die and all these horrible things?
Yes.
Because I don't know about yourself, so I'd ask you, do you think people of Earth are ready for any sort of disclosure at all?
Oh, of course, yes. I think everybody should know that there is life or has been life on other planets. I think we are ready, but the thing is, it's if there are aliens out there who are really, really ahead of us, it'll be like us trying to talk to ants, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Yeah. It's like us trying to sit down and have a conversation with an ant. But we are ready. Well, maybe it's not ready for the whole truth, for everything, but we're ready for the start of it,
Yeah, well, I feel since the first ever film called War of the Worlds was aired on the radio, there was a bit of mass panic. So it's sort of, I could imagine it back then not being a good thing to let out that, oh, by the way, there was some life on Mars. But I really do agree with you. I think it should be at least, I mean, they say that they're drip feeding the information to us now anyway. But I do actually believe that, for one, they should at least admit to Mars having life at one point, at one time. Because therefore, they're not exactly saying there's aliens now, are they? They're not saying that there's alien life forms that are intelligent there now, but there was millions and millions of years ago.
Yeah. Well, they're actually trying to say that there is the building blocks of life there now. Like in the ground, they're saying that there is the chemicals and things like that there that could
Support
produce life. But they're not saying life like us. They're saying life like biological life. And things
microbial,
like that,
which is a bit depressing, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it is. But if you listen to that, and then you go and you look at the things that me and other people have found, you think, sorry, but this is just talking rubbish, you are.
Yeah.
Because life could still be there, and life has been there,
Yeah.
We've got thousands of images showing that the structures and sculptures and things like that. So why don't they just come out and say either there has been life on Mars or there could be life on Mars?
I mean, you must feel quite insulted when they turn around and say, no, it's just a rock, Neville.
No, I'm not. I just think that they should just come out and tell the truth. I'm not insulted. I know what I can say, and I know that looks like something that's being built.
Yeah.
Nothing could be formed that way naturally.
Yeah.
It couldn't be. So No, I just think, okay, NASA, carry on telling your lies. I'm no different, you know.
Well, for the listeners that will be listening, they can check on my website, and I will hopefully get a couple of images off of you, Neville, for when the show airs.
Right, okay, yeah.
So, listeners can actually look at some evidence that we're talking about right now, who hasn't possibly seen it before. So it'll put it on there. But what is your pet hate then when it comes to other anomaly researchers? I mean, there's some images that can be pretty far out when it comes to what other people see in certain images. Should we always keep an open mind when it comes to anomaly research? Because sometimes there's some people that are zooming into pixels and they're saying, that there's eyes, there's a face there's a community, and they're drawing around these pixels. And is it sometimes a faces in places sort of?
Well, there is a lot of faces and carvings and things like that, but sometimes people post a load of post rubbish sometimes, you know. You think sometimes you zoom in too close. If you pull back a bit and look from a further distance, that's when you'll be able to tell. But people, because they can't see anything, they're going closer and closer in, and they're just making shapes up in the heads, you know. It tends to happen that if you look at something long enough, you begin to see whatever it is you want to see. It's like when you're lying in bed and you're looking at the patterns on your curtains, you sometimes see faces and things like that, don't you?
Yeah, like the faces in places, in clouds.
The next morning when you wake up and you try and find them again, they're not there.
No.
You know?
Yeah, this is the light, the way that light plays with things as well, isn't it? Like you were saying earlier, when the rover moves round, you get another shot of it, and it's a total different picture than what you saw on the first image. Yeah, but it's only because of the light.
Yeah, but I found that good because you can actually see what you're looking at and see whether it was what you thought it was, you know.
Yes.
See, I don't just use the ground images, the ground image shots from the rovers. I also use the aerial shots as well, because sometimes the rover moves in funny ways. Like if you see like a clear space in front of the rover, you see it not going straight, it goes round something, you know, and you think, wait, why has it gone round something? So I look at the aerial shots, and you can sometimes see that there's a structure there that has actually moved round.
Right.
You know?
So this is terrible, isn't it? Do you think they've got their own little secret stash then of images, and then somebody's just sat there deciding which one goes public?
Oh yes, yeah, of course. I mean, the amount of images that come down. I mean, God, how much is it costing a day for the rover to be up there, or for the people to actually be in charge of it every day? You know, and some days you only get 20 to 30 images coming down, and they are horrible, stupid images. So you're thinking, okay, so has the rover taken more images, better ones, of what's there? Have they got two sets of images, one for themselves and one for us, you know?
Yeah, because they National Disclosure Project, there was some actual NASA, ex-NASA employees that actually admit to smudging out certain things on images that have been coming back. So that it's basically there's quite a few people who have actually admitted that's what they got told to do. So it makes you wonder if they used to do that back then. Nowadays, it's so much easier with programs to smudge things out. You can't. You can get rid of say a can on some grass, and you'd never have known it was there with this sort of equipment that you can use now.
You could get rid of a whole building, and and it looks as if nothing's there. It's quite easy to do.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't.
Like in what 2004 or 5, when the rovers just landed, they didn't really have that kind of programs to do that. You know, actually, Photoshop was made by NASA. You know, but No, they couldn't really do that then. But now, my God, you've got CGI and everything in films now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can create anything.
Yeah.
So if you can create anything, you can hide anything, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. This is the sort of stuff I've been talking about with a few guests, is about CGI and how it's interfering with research, with us little civilians, the little sheeple, as they call us. So, what are you wanting to have NASA release as the most, like, what sort of images? Where would you like the rover to go? All right, and this is my first question. And my second question would be, what are you wanting to have NASA release the most?
Well, I'm wanting NASA to release that there either has been life on Mars, and there has been cities built and things like that, or there is life on Mars. I would love that to happen.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, there's a new 2020 rover going to be sent out shortly.
Really? I didn't know about that. Could you tell us more?
Yeah. There's a 2020 rover going to be sent out, but they picked 3 locations where to go. Now, one of the locations is where Spirit rover was sent to, because Spirit rover got stuck in the sand.
Oh.
Now they're gonna send this new 2020 rover. One of the possibilities is sending it back to Gusev Crater. That's where Spirit rover is. Now in Gusev Crater, there's supposed to be 7 cities in this big long valley. That's where the Spirit rover was. Now it got stuck in the sand just before it was gonna go into this crater where there was buildings and everything there. I mean,
my goodness.
I've got the pan that shows you all the buildings and stuff like that, and but Spirit rover got stuck there, so they're thinking about sending the 2020 rover there, or they're sending it there to actually pull the Spirit rover back out the sand, so they've got 2 rovers for the price of 1.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, Spirit rover never broke down; it just got stuck, so they shut it down.
Right.
So it's still in working order.
So they could restart it then.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
well that's one to look out for.
Yeah, so just waiting to see where they decide to send it.
So out of all the evidence you've found, you've got some favourites surely. What is your most favourite, and would you be able to share the image with us for the show later?
I've got loads of favourites.
That's what I was wondering. I bet you have.
I've got loads and loads of favourites. I can't really say there's one favourite. I think the most famous one is that one that you saw.
Yeah.
I've got another one. It's of it looks like a horse's head. A horse buried. It's buried halfway in the sand.
Oh my goodness.
I've got a picture of that. It's got horns on its head and things like that. It's really strange. It is, yeah.
Wow.
But no, I'll send you a few
thank you.
images to put on the site when you release this,
Thank
so people can view.
Yeah, brilliant. That'd be fantastic, because, like I said before, there's only so many images that are out there for people that aren't actually looking for them, that are ever given out. So on the news, in the general news online and things like that. So it'd be good to have images that you've found that, because you're doing this professionally all the time.
Well, I'm not doing it professionally. I just do it as a hobby. I've done it since 2010. So I've been doing it a long time, but I tend to concentrate on the pans. Now I do find things, but I only post things that I think people will be able to see, rather than just posting a rock where it could be anything,
Yeah.
I'd rather post something that you can see, that people can see straight away, and rather than having people saying, "Wait, what's that?"
Yeah, I hear you. So, I mean, you put a lot of hours in it. You may as well be professional in my eyes because you put a lot of hours in it. You're on it constantly, sending out GigaPans for everybody, making it easier, as you say. Do you ever sleep?
Oh yeah, I sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me sleeping pattern's funny to start with. It's always been funny. So sometimes I can stay awake 2 days without sleeping and be fine. You know.
Yeah.
So I really think there should be more hours in the day because I could get a lot more done.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm a bit nocturnal myself, really. I tend to sleep most of the afternoon if I could ever. I sleep in the afternoon. And
Well, the thing is, I've got more friends. I've got more friends in the States and around the world than I have in Britain. So I tend to stay awake more during the night to talk to them than rather the people here. You know.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, where do you want to take your research then? Are you ever thinking about maybe doing a book for people to see with all your findings?
No, not really. All my finds are online if anybody wants to see them. I'm not in this to make money.
No,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, I just wondered that.
I do this for everybody. You know.
Yeah. This is like your hobby.
I'm not here to make money out of it or anything like that because that's wrong. Once money becomes involved, then you start to get greedy and you want more money and things like that, you know. I mean, it helps. It helps. But no, I'd rather just carry on doing it the way I'm doing, and that's it, really.
Well, I thank you for that, Neville. I really do.
Yeah. Okay.
So I will obviously put some links to your groups. And as I just asked, we'll do some photos and stuff for the listeners to have a look at. And I really appreciate your time with me today, Neville.
Okay, good.
And
anytime.
Cool. If there's anything that comes up, I'm going to go straight to you and get your take on it, if that's okay.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, okay.
Cool. All right then, and I shall catch up with you soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
All right, darling. Okay, speak to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I would like to give out a huge welcome and hello to these new listeners and subscribers to this podcast. And I'm going to state the countries from where you are all from. So hello to Australia, Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, Great Britain, India, Indonesia, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, the Netherlands, Pakistan, Philippines, Romania, Russian Federation, Singapore, South Africa, Spain, Switzerland, Turkey and the United States. A big hello and welcome, and I'm so pleased to have you with us. I hope you're enjoying the show. Please comment on the website, ahk42.com. Also like and share if you enjoyed it. You can find us on YouTube, which is Hitchhiker's Guide to 42, or at Talk AHK42 on Twitter, and a Hitchhiker's Guide to 42, or at Talk AHK42 on Facebook. Please like, subscribe and share. And last but not least, I would like to let you know the songs I played today was David Bowie, and that was Life on Mars, and Gustav Holst, The Planet's Mars, The Bringer of War. And I would like to thank Terry Rauch, Jim Chomak, Glenn Richardson, John Sims and NevilleThompson. And I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll speak to you soon.